All right.
Well, hello.
Welcome.
Good morning, good night, good afternoon. Whatever.
Episode 6.
Salutations.
Salutations.
Is that right?
No,
Is that the beginning of an email or is that the end?
I don't know.
I'm not professional.
Salutations.
But yeah, hello, I'm Kelsey, this is Justin, and welcome back to Not So Happy Hour. Welcome back to our channel.
Our channel. Like, subscribe.
Please.
No, but episode 6.
Episode 6, and we have a lot to get into.
Why?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, it's been a slow week.
It's been over a week since we last recorded. We actually were going to record earlier this week, but I was just really busy, and I was like, you know what, let's push it, and we're very glad we did.
Yeah.
Because now we get to cover a lot more, and we have a lot more opinions for you guys.
Thankfully, the world went to shit.
Thankfully, the world imploded in the first week of January of 2021.
Yeah, it's horrible, right? How does that happen?
But maybe because it's starting out this way, it's like, it gives us like there's only up from here, you know?
You would think.
Maybe.
You would think.
We'll see.
Well, no. It's gonna fall.
The lower it goes, the earlier in the year means the higher we can go later on.
Sure.
Trying to be positive.
Okay, sure.
So, we are going to try to get right into the episode. So, the first thing we want to do is just a quick mental health check. Where are you at for the week?
Honestly, I'm okay.
Are you?
I'm solid. Yeah, I'm better than I was a while ago.
That's good.
But yeah,
I'm definitely better than I was like yesterday.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yeah.
That's
not saying much. So.
But that's
because
good.
I had a panic attack in my work truck yesterday, so that's not saying much.
Well, you're not having a panic attack in your work truck now, so
That's true. I only got a flat tire.
That sucks.
Got stranded for 45 minutes. But it's fine. It's fine because we're here and we're thriving.
Yeah, sure.
So let's get into it. January kicked off with a banger.
Yes, it did.
I think that the anti-mask protests that we saw might have been in December, the ones that were in Fresno.
Yeah.
It might have been the last week of December.
Yeah, I think, you're probably right.
So if you guys didn't see, there was an anti-mask protest in North.
It's like northwest Fresno.
Fresno?
Trader Joe's got shut down.
Yeah, Trader Joe's was forced to close their doors because a group of anti-maskers were being extremely aggressive and protesting.
And, being like how they are.
Yeah, and then we saw a bigger demonstration of anti-maskers in LA, in a Ralph's. They started in a Ralph's and they moved their way into a mall. I don't know which mall it was, and I also don't know where exactly in LA it was, but it escalated to a point. It's just multiple stores were having to like close their doors and like hold them shut because people were trying to like force their ways in there without masks on.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to touch on this a little bit because it's crazy. Like, it's just crazy that people have gotten to a point where they're like pushing glass doors open while store managers are like asking them to stay out. And it's just like, these people who are working these jobs are already going through enough, and now you want to put them through this?
Yeah. Or,
like, really?
Yeah.
Like, really?
It's hilarious. It's like, dude, it's a little cloth over your face. It's okay.
It's also extremely, like, the hypocrisy of it is just, like, insane.
Yeah.
Because I get it. You're saying that you don't want to wear a mask, and that's your right, that you don't have to wear it if you don't want to, but we also have to understand that there are rules in society, and that just because you don't want to do something does not mean that you get to just go and force that on other people. So, like, for instance, in this video that I'm talking about from LA, the anti-maskers are, like, screaming in the faces of people who are wearing masks. And, like, screaming at the managers who are like, hey, like, you can't be in here without a mask on. And that is, the business's right to say. Like, they get to say that.
They have their own rules.
Yeah, it's their rules. So if you want to not wear a mask, great, go do it in a place where you can do that.
Yeah. It's like you can't not go into business like wearing you have to wear a shirt to go into most stores, and you have to wear shoes, you have to wear pants.
It's just insane to me though that like we're still talking about this. Like people are still having to explain this to people like they're children.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we kind of expected it at this point now.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like, that's what it is. It's sad. It's sad because it's like, it's not even sad that people aren't getting it because that's expected. It's sad for the people who have to be affected by this.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, because, I mean, they don't get paid enough to deal with other people's stuff.
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all.
For instance, we didn't even touch on it, but earlier, the dude that was doing that shit at Walmart, or whatever that store was, when he...
Oh!
I don't know how I forgot about it, but...
I don't mind influencers, like I get it, get your money, get your coin, and I don't even think that guy's classified as an influencer, but people who like go in public to like make funny videos that are not funny and it's really just an inconvenience to people who work in the public, it like infuriates me.
Yes. Because it's like, what was the point of any of that? Because, I don't know,
because it wasn't funny. I'm sure there's some people who find it funny, like, that's why he did it, but, like, it really wasn't that funny. Like, what are you going to gain from that?
Sadly, he's probably going to gain something, which sucks.
Something, but, like, I don't know, But,
I mean, we should probably say what we're talking about. The dude that walked onto
There's a guy, so there's a video of a guy, I don't even know, is it a TikTok? Or it's a YouTube
I think it's a TikTok,
video?
It's probably a TikTok, yeah.
I don't know, some guy went into a Walmart bathroom, stripped down to his underwear, had a gallon of milk, walked out of the bathroom screaming, walked onto where they do the bagging, and while screaming, poured the gallon of milk on himself. And then jumped off of it, fell on the floor, and then ran out, screaming in the faces of the people that worked there without a mask on.
Almost naked.
Like, and then the poor workers had to clean it up.
And what sucks too is like the workers are probably the ones getting in trouble for them being like, hey, why'd you let this guy do this? Like,
I don't even think that. I just think that like it's such bullshit. Like,
whatever happened to like the harmless? Not harmless pranks, but like, you know what was funny? When people used to jump in ball pits. I thought that was the funniest thing ever. That was the one. What? That was the most the extent of when I thought like public pranks were funny. It was when people used to jump into like those like little, you know, the ball like cages they had at like Walmart.
I've never seen anybody do that. Oh my god! First of all, we didn't even say what we're doing.
I don't even know what it is actually.
So
concocted this.
Today we asked our true and faithful followers to tell us what to drink because we love beer, but it's a new year and we would love to hear from you guys more. We'd love to interact with you guys more. So this is a way that we get to do that. So each week we'll ask for a recipe and sometimes we'll go on live and we'll make it. I just didn't have time today or the space, but we're going to shout them out each episode. So this was suggested by Paul. Thank you, Paul. I can't say your Instagram handle because I don't know how to pronounce it, but it is in the comment section of our Instagram. He suggested a peanut butter old fashioned. So this is made with screwball whiskey, bullet rye, bitters, and a cherry.
Yeah. And Peter, the natty ice with lemon, that was a close second.
We weren't going to do that. I have a personal vendetta against Natty Ice.
I think everyone should, but that doesn't matter. We have to drink it. They recommend it.
We'll get there. Maybe next week if no one else comments.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
See, if you guys don't comment, then we're going to be forced to drink Natty Ice and lemonade, which, Peter, thank you for commenting. Thank you so much, but that just doesn't sound that appealing to me. But maybe I'm just wrong.
Well,
like, maybe I just can't knock it till I try it.
Maybe you're not a 19-year-old frat boy.
But neither is Peter.
That's true. God damn it, Peter.
So anyways, cheers.
Thanks, Paul.
Let's try this out. I actually don't like whiskey, so...
I like whiskey, but I don't like peanut butter, so...
I'm scared.
Wasn't bad at all.
Okay, wait, I actually like that.
I like that, too. You know what's funny is because you were saying the cherry doesn't do anything, but it does something.
It didn't do anything. Maybe it'll do something now because my ice ball has melted enough for it to actually get into the...
Mine's split now.
But it tastes like peanut butter, and I really like it.
I don't do peanut butter to me.
Are you okay? Are you sick?
No. There's the whiskey. There's the cherry in the whiskey.
No, it's good. I like this.
It's fine, yeah.
I strongly suggest people to try this. He actually did like the exact measurements in our comment section, so if you want to try this,
full-on recipe.
you can. Yeah,
wow.
It's super good and it's super easy. So you really don't need that much. You can get like the little smaller bottles of it if you wanted to just try it out. But this is officially my new favorite whiskey, Screwball whiskey.
Oh, you're horrible.
Love it. Sponsor me. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so anti-mask, I mean, that guy wasn't doing an anti-mask protest, the guy that was pouring milk on himself, but he wasn't wearing a mask. And I just think that, like, all of California is under a mask mandate. Am I right?
No, yeah, you are.
But local governments and local police forces are
yeah.
kind of saying, like, we're not going to enforce this, which I think is really unfortunate, because then it comes to times like these when we have these protests where, like I said, if you want to sit there and cry like a baby and be like, I can't wear a mask, I don't want to, fine. But do it in places that you can do it. Don't endanger other people's lives. And then for police to not enforce it, and then people are having to, like, close and barricade their doors against anti-maskers, like, that's fucking ridiculous.
It's stupid. It's
like the lack of support from police, and then we're supposed to trust in the police and, like, think that they're going to protect us against what exactly? Can someone please tell me? Because we also saw that then a few days later at the U.S. Capitol.
Hey.
So
that was fun.
How did you feel when you first saw that? Because you were on social media during the day. I was at work.
I was at work too.
So I was, because this is my first week back to work. I took a 2-week break, and so I have like a shit ton of stuff that I have to do. So like I literally can't be on my phone right now. I have a bunch of people talking to me constantly. So.
Oh. Yeah.
Because usually I'm like, I'll take a break and like I'll scroll through Instagram or Twitter or whatever. But I had my phone blowing up for multiple reasons. But my friend Ben had actually texted me and was like, are you seeing what's going on right now? Like, this is fucking crazy. And I was like, no, but I'm about to go on my lunch. Like, I'll check it out. So like, because I know that you actually saw it like a little bit more from the beginning than I did.
Yeah. So I saw it like, oh wow, okay, there's people protesting, like, at the Capitol steps. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, whatever. No big deal.
Did you watch Trump's speech?
Yeah, so I had heard the speech already.
Okay. And I didn't even know he had a speech. Like, I had no clue any of this was going on. And I think my phone was in my backpack, so I literally was disconnected.
I'm going to be totally honest. Like, I don't think his speech was, like, completely, like, we're going to incite a riot. I don't think it was that, but I think it was enough for a cult to want to incite a riot.
Well, I watched it later on, and it wasn't just his speech, but it's also like Rudy Giuliani. And,
oh yeah, well when he's saying like
these
fight
other
and
people,
fight
it's like it's a certain type of rhetoric that's an aggressive
yeah,
rhetoric.
and
that's
he's had
like,
it the whole time since he started.
And it's a build up. It's like for people to be surprised that this happened. It's not surprising.
Well, you shouldn't be surprised at all.
It's not surprising.
At all, yeah.
We saw this coming. Like, we knew this was going to happen.
Eventually, yeah.
At some point. We just didn't know when.
Yeah. And then we kind of blew it off because, like, oh, it hasn't happened yet, so it's not going to happen. And then it happened. And we're like, oh, shit, it happened.
Yeah.
So I saw it, and then I was, like, I think I was in awe for, like, probably at least an hour. I was like, no, that's not real. That's not real.
People climbing up the wall.
How ironic that Trumpers are climbing up a wall to get into a place illegally.
There's no words, but there's so many words, you know?
Why say a lot more if you wore a new trick?
Yeah,
no. Yeah, no, you're right. No, it was ridiculous. Like, it was absolutely insane. And then the pictures after are hilarious. Like the one with the old lady that's just standing with the flag.
Yeah.
One of the best pictures probably ever.
So as a trauma response, Twitter naturally just started making a shit ton of memes.
That's the only way to keep sanity is just joke.
During these dark times when you're like, okay, so white supremacists are literally allowed to storm a federal building.
Yes.
So now I'm just going to start making jokes because otherwise I'm going to spiral into a very dark place.
Exactly.
And that's just kind of how it happened on Twitter. But
it didn't have to happen that way. I don't think it did.
What do you mean?
I don't think it had to be that many. Like, we have a very militarized police force in America. Like, they're very militarized.
Yeah.
You had seen it all throughout the year, how much police force we have. Like, we have
tanks. We have those sound things. You remember? I don't even know what they're called, but like it like makes a sound where it's like a deafening sound.
We have that, and
they have things that we don't even know what they're fucking called, and it's just like insane. It's like they make that, like that's a thing.
It's insane to think that a protest that had been talked about for months and months and months, and everyone's claiming it's a stolen election, so there's pissed off people, even though they're not rightfully pissed off, because it's not a stolen election, it's a made-up fairy tale that they made themselves. And to think that you weren't prepared to handle these protesters, but like, it didn't have to be that way. Like, there was...
So let's just go through the chain of events that day, right? So we knew
they breached Capitol.
Well, let's start from the very beginning. Like, Trump had a speech and a rally, basically.
They were already going to protest.
And basically said, "I'm calling on my supporters to protest what's going on." Yeah. So, and then we had people coming in after him using even more aggressive rhetoric, basically inciting. I mean, I personally think, like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, like, they didn't say to go riot.
You don't have to say it.
You don't have to say that. When you've had 4 years of built-up animosity towards each other and, like, each side, and especially coming from a president who has a majority of, like, racist supporters, like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
What do you expect? So we started there. It started as a protest. What then transpired was domestic terrorism. We're going to call it what it is. But from there, they breached the Capitol. They were breaking windows. They were climbing over walls. They were busting down doors. They were chasing the police officers through the building.
Stealing. They were
smashing them and stealing and on Nancy Pelosi's desk.
Which is a whole other issue where it's like, let's think about those.
Yeah, so I kind of want to just go through the events really quick, and then we'll kind of like talk about how we feel. But so then after that, we have multiple officials begging Trump to come back out and say, please call them off, because maybe they'll listen to you. Right?
Mm-hmm. And then he releases that
video. So he releases a video in which he says...
doubles down on the stolen election.
He does say to go home, but very gently.
Yeah.
He's like, go home. I love you. I support you. I know how you feel. This election was stolen. I hate the government. And then just like goes back into like a rage. And I'm like, this isn't helping.
No,
this isn't helping.
It was definitely not.
And so, of course, nothing happened. And then, I don't know if this happened before or after the Trump video, but then we find out, we see a tweet come out from the National who was it that tweeted that, like, the National Guard was denied to come to the... there was a tweet. It was a federal government
Defense Secretary denied the request for the National Guard to be dispersed, I believe.
So we saw that, and then that was even more of like, holy shit. Why? So like, they're not going to do anything about this, pretty much. How did they... I mean, eventually police showed up. Eventually there was tear gas, but it was at the very end. It was when things were already winding back down. And then we see videos of all of the people who committed federal crimes at a Hilton or something like
whatever
that.
It was, like
a hotel at the cocktail.
Four Seasons landscape.
At a cocktail hour.
I don't know.
Just chilling.
Dude.
Having drinks, eating pizza, decompressing after a long day.
Yeah, cooping.
Of terrorism. And I think at that point I was just like, I felt like a sense of hopelessness at the end of the day, because I was just like, wow.
Well,
like, wow.
I still feel that same sense of hopelessness.
I do too, but
what has come about that? like, there's a dude that had it, like, and trust me, I'm, like, no Nancy Pelosi stan or anything, but, like, there's a dude that had his feet all over her desk, stealing her mail.
Well, and then we also found out later that day that 4 people died.
5 total now.
5 now, because now we know a cop died. So with all of that being said, we kind of want to touch on a few different topics. So the first one we kind of want to touch on is the lack of preparedness of the police, especially because as we're seeing, I mean, as we saw that day, as we've been seeing for months, like, they've been throwing this date around on multiple different platforms, but for some reason, no one was prepared for this to happen.
Yeah, but, well, and no one except the people that did it. They were prepared for it to happen because they wanted it to.
And I think the crazy thing is like, it's just crazy because when you see any other, like, human rights protest being organized, it's being treated like it's going to be a terrorist attack. That's what it's being treated like. But then when you see something like this happen where it starts as a protest, but it's been organized for months and we know about this date, but there's no backup, there's no preparedness, you just didn't think it was going to break out into anything more? Like, it was going to be fine. It was going to be fine. Everybody's going to stay chill. We're all just going to sing Kumbaya, and, like, they're going to hear us, and we're going to just, like, peace out at the end. We're going to go hang out with Trump. Like, that's what we thought was going to happen? Really? Okay.
I mean, just call it what it is. It's white privilege. Like, there's a reason.
It's white supremacy.
It's white supremacy. It's
white.
White.
It's just being white.
It's white. It's, like, let's be realistic about it. I mean, you can go over all of the times that a white person has done an act of terrorism. Like, let's go back from Dylan Roof shooting up a black church and then getting Burger King after. Let's go back to Kyle Rittenhouse going up to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and he didn't even live there, and he was defending property, he crossed state lines and killed 2 people.
Yeah.
And guess what? The cops let him go.
Well, and like,
we at some point we gotta realize that, look, I'm not gonna be the person that says every cop is a white supremacist, but I'm gonna be the person that says that a white supremacist are in the police force and they are friends with other people. Because
I'm gonna go as far to say this is that, and I think that this is, you can look facts up on how the police system was created. The police system was created off the back of racism.
Oh yeah.
And so when you have a system that benefits off of racism, is it ever going to change? They're gonna, and we know that eventually some people are gonna call for more funding because they weren't prepared enough. That's obviously not what we need.
Trust me, because DC had the police. The DC police are very well funded, and they were curb stomping protesters before a month ago. So.
Well, and then there's the defunding the police, which, okay, yes, step in the right direction. But the reason why people are calling for the abolition of the police system is because the police system is built off of racism. So we need to uproot the entire system. It's not to say that there aren't some good people out there who decide to become cops and either they get pushed out of the force because they are telling the truth and they're fighting for good.
Or they become part of
the problem. Yeah. Or they become too blind to the things that are happening right in front of their face.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate, but, like, that's what it is. And that's why we need to uproot the entire system and fucking turn it on its head and change it completely.
I think this should be an eye-opener for so many people, because when you see pictures or see videos of the police opening up the gates for these people to come in here, when you see them in the Capitol now taking selfies with police.
And some of the police officers that day, I'm sure, were scared for their fucking lives.
Some police officers too that day were actually trying to get these people away.
But the thing is that they never thought that these people were going to turn on them because these people are their friends. These people are their allies. So that day happened the way that it did because they were never prepared for this, because they're basically sleeping in the same bed as them.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's the issue there.
That's the sitch. But
I mean, and we're gonna get hate for talking shit on police.
Trust me.
But like, I think the thing is like, it's hard to talk about this in ways that people who are so militant about their beliefs are going to understand.
We just have to. I think you have to just be honest. You have to be blunt. That's the thing. It's like you really.
I'm not afraid of hurting feelings. Like that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is like I think a lot of people even now still won't understand it because they don't want to.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, for sure.
And we're gonna get people like, oh, well, who are you gonna call when something happens to you?
Ghostbusters.
No, I'm going to let you know right now. I've called the police multiple times in the last 5 years, and they have not helped in any situation that I've been involved in. They've only made things worse. So that is not a valid argument for me. You could say it to someone else, save it. I don't care. They've never helped me. They've only made things worse for me and my friends, and I've seen people get the shit beat out of them. I've seen people, just be in the worst situations possible, and then they're the ones getting questioned at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So if that's what you're going to come to me and like come for me having this opinion, just know for me it's not valid. Like my personal experience, I'm sure some people out there have like a great experience with police and like they've only known like good people in their lives to be police officers. Like good for you, but also realize like that's not all of our experiences. And like that's the issue. Like if some of us even if there's 10% of people who are having these terrible fucking like experiences, like that shouldn't be happening because the police are meant to be there for us, to help us. So if they're not doing that, then they're not doing their fucking job. When it
and I know we talked about it earlier, like before we started getting into it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to equate like the Black Lives Matter protest to this because this wasn't a protest. This was
terrorism.
This was terrorism. Exactly.
Domestic terrorism.
This is domestic terrorism. This is white supremacy. Exactly. But when you see the reaction being after everything's done, they storm the Capitol, and now it's finally over. What are they doing? They're helping these people down the stairs. Like, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You stormed the Capitol right now, so let's help you down the stairs because I don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah, well, and like the last time I checked, I think the night of, or like the next morning, there was only 13 arrests. Mm-hmm. And I think the last time I checked today, there's been 42. But like,
how many arrests? Do you know how many arrests there were during the?
I don't know the exact number, but I know
14,000.
It's a fucking lot, and like that's okay. So like,
you know, the last time
when we say like, because I know like myself, I tweeted like, where's the rubber bullets and like where's the tear gas, like, but like I think someone put it in a really great way of saying like, when we say those things, like it's a rhetorical device of more so saying like, we aren't asking for people to be shot by the police or for people to get tear gassed or for people to have a rubber bullet to their fucking eye for walking down the street like some people did in the Black Lives Matter protest. We're asking for you to not shoot us the way that you don't shoot them. Like we've seen like that day was a prime example that police officers can show restraint, that they can try to de-escalate things without shooting. They can literally
get their ass beaten and not kill someone. Like that's the crazy thing is like you were watching police officers get thrown down on the floor and they did nothing. Like you had, according to their standards, you had all the reason to be able to use deadly force and they didn't for a reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of it's because their life wasn't threatened.
Yeah.
According to them, but
so when we say like
God
the
forbid
police,
Colin Kaepernick taking a knee.
Yeah, and like that's kind of why like when we say like police officers' response to this versus Black Lives Matter protest, we're not equating the two at all, but we are saying that I think more so what it is like the response of the police officers, the response of the conservative people who were really upset during when like looting would happen at the end of protests, when it wasn't even the protesters that were doing it.
Yeah.
You know, but they just didn't want to acknowledge that. And then it was like they're freaking out over a Target getting broken into, or a Walmart, or a Starbucks.
Let's go the worst example. Like for instance, the police precinct that got burned down. I think it was in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that. Let's notice the difference though between these two movements. So let's say when the police precinct got burned down, they're protesting the death of people of color, mainly black people, getting murdered by the hands of police, unarmed, almost all the time. And it's been going on forever. This is, they're protesting the results of an election. And they're saying that they won because of nothing. They have no reason to think they won. It's a made-up fairy tale fuck land. Like,
well, and I think a lot of the time people say, like, stop comparing Black Lives Matter and that. I think they're kind of talking a lot about people like Tommy Lahren. I don't even know her name.
Yeah.
But when she went on Twitter and was like, I'm gonna stay consistent and still say that, like, I denounce this behavior, but then it's like ... But the leftist hypocrites and, like, blah blah blah, and, like, it's the same rhetoric. It's the same rhetoric that Trump and everyone uses, and then it's like, well, wait, how did we get here? This is how we got here. Because you can't sit there and just say that something's wrong without blaming it on someone else, or shifting the blame somewhere else, or shifting the focus to something else. And, like, I've seen that happen in so many. I got in a Facebook argument the other day with someone because
they were first mistake was on Facebook.
I know, they were shifting the focus to it being about COVID. I'm like, well,
so now they care about
what about like I love it. People are like, well, I'm actually neutral here. I'm center right. Like,
that's
if
not
you're
neutral.
Center right, you're
that's
not
pretty right wing.
Neutral.
Yeah, that's pretty right.
But okay, I'll hear you out. It's like, because I think the original post was like a joke, kind of saying like this is a super spreader event.
Yeah.
So I get it. Okay, you want to make it about COVID, but then after that, he was like making other points about like, well, like, one side believes that looting and rioting is okay, and the other side believes that, like, something, but he wasn't even talking about COVID in all his arguments, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then it was like, how is that the same, like, on COVID? And I'm like, dude, you're making no sense.
Yeah.
Like, you went COVID, and then you went completely different in your body of your argument, and at the end you were like, COVID. And then he was like, gotcha. And so I politely responded and was like, sir, let me enlighten you. And, like, answered his questions that he put in the middle of his response or whatever. And then I was like, have a nice day. And he's like, this is why I hate you progressive liberal people, because you didn't even answer what I was talking about. Did you even read my response? And so I literally copy and pasted the part I was responding to, and I said, is this not what you said, sir? And then the original person who posted it, like, deleted the whole thing and texted me, was like, please, I'm not mad at you, but, like, these people are fucking idiots. Do not argue with them. It's not worth your time. And I was like, yeah, but, like, I'm angry.
Yeah. No, so, yeah. Well, I have time today, so.
But I think, like, that's what people mean is it's like, there's a constant shift of blame. There's a constant shift of focus to things that aren't important. I mean, COVID is important, but, like, to things that, like, aren't important to this specific topic or conversation. Yeah. You know, like, that has... And yeah, you know what? Yeah, like, this could have been a super spreader event, because how many of these people were actually wearing masks?
It's not that it could have been. It was a super spreader event.
But then even that, to compare that to Black Lives Matter protests is fucking stupid, because you see that in multiple... my brain's not working today. No. In multiple things that they did after, like research they did after, they're like, most people were wearing their masks at the Black Lives Matter protest, so they weren't even super spreader events.
Sorry when I say this, but I don't even care about the idea of masks when it came to the Black Lives Matter protest, because guess what? They were fucking protesting for the death of people that were unarmed.
Like,
this is protesting the fucking made-up fairy tale of election that they think they won. They did not win. That's the thing.
That was an argument, though, of like one of the healthcare professionals is they were like, you know, like, we can talk about COVID when it comes to Black Lives Matter protests, like, we can.
It's human rights stuff.
But they said, like, I would argue, though, that racism is like a health issue. Yeah. Like, if you really think about it, like, racism in the medical industry, racism in like environmental racism, like, it goes deeper than we really see. Yeah. So it's a little bit bigger than being like, wah, my president lost. I'm so sad and pissed off because the stupid Democrats stole the election, even though I have no proof At all.
At all.
Wow. That's what I think of when I see this shit. Like, that's literally the way that I see all of it. That was my recount of the entire event.
That seemed great. That was perfect. That was great. No, but I was very I'm like, I can't even describe how like upset I've actually been about this because of the fact that like it's completely like, first off, Trump is obviously the person to blame. You have to blame Trump. Obviously, after that, you have to blame all the senators and all the people in Congress that have enabled this behavior.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they did it, and now people, like, the sad part is that people actually believe they're doing the right thing. And that's what hurts. That actually might be the thing that hurts me the most, is like, they think they're right.
That's actually what I was talking.
They're right.
I was talking to my dad, and I was like, you know what's crazy is that a lot of these people like actually think that like that was like a patriotic thing to do,
exactly.
Or that I even said like, Dad, I'm not gonna allot Trump like the grace to think that he's smart enough. I genuinely think that Trump even thinks like, oh, like I didn't do anything wrong. Like I told him to go home.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no, like, and I think that's what's so fucking frustrating for all of us. But what hurts me even more is like, this is frustrating for us, right? But like, how fucking heartbreaking and like, how hopeless do you feel if you are a Black or Indigenous person who have been fighting for your life for years now, for years, not just this year. This year we saw it like ramp up, and we saw more protests, and we saw, you know, more people standing up and speaking up. But like, this has been going on for years. Like, people have been protesting for years. Like, we saw it, like with the Dakota, is it the Dakota pipeline? We saw how Indigenous people were treated in that protest. We saw how
peaceful Indigenous people.
We saw how disabled people were treated by the police.
During, you saw disabled people in the same Capitol that just got stormed. Mm-hmm. Disabled people. You
saw the response of the amount of police during Black Lives Matter movements in DC. Like, that's what's fucking maddening, and I think like that's what people are missing, and that's why it's so even more maddening. Where it's like, well, what about Black Lives Matter? It's like, what about them? Shut the fuck up! Like, they were fighting for equality. You realize that, right? Like, they were fighting for equality, and sometimes I just want to shake people. Yeah. I just want to shake them, because I'm like, how does this not register for you? And like, how do you not understand that this is important? And like, how do you not understand like what happened the other day is a huge indicator for what else they're allowed to do to us. Yeah. And like how fucking scared the rest of us are now. Like, we're fucking, I'm scared.
Yeah, completely. Like, I mean, like, you know, like, I'm not like a person that like likes to live in fear, but trust me, like, like seeing what can just be allowed, and you're just, like, you have to just accept it. Like, there's two different Americas, like, there really is. Mm-hmm. There's the America that lets you do whatever the fuck you want. You can storm the Capitol. You can fly a Confederate flag inside the fucking Capitol. You could, you know the last time the Capitol was stormed?
When?
The War of 1812. By the British, not even by Americans. This is the first time the Americans ever stormed the Capitol.
And I just think, like, how do you sit there and really say that this was patriotic? Like, this was a federal fucking building.
You know what's funny about this? Like, you want to call these people patriotic? Not you, sorry. You're not gonna call people patriotic. But people, or they're gonna call themselves patriots. I watched videos of them throwing down American flags to throw up Trump flags. This is a fucking cult. Yeah. This is not patriotism. Like, this is not anything other than a cult. This is a cult. This is stupid. This is disgusting. Yeah. This is racism. This is white supremacy. Yep. This is fucking stupid. That's all it is.
I think
it's ludicrous. That's
I have two more things I want to touch on with this. One, I've seen a lot of people. I don't follow a ton of Trump supporters. I know a few, and I've seen the few that I do know have said that like they don't support what happened, and I'm like, that's good and fine. Thank you for saying that, I guess. But I also want to see Trump supporters now also denounce the fact that they support Trump, which is it's too little too late, because if you haven't seen the damage that he's done in the last 4 years and you're just barely waking up to it, like, wow, thanks a lot. But also, like, just saying, like, well, I don't support what happened at the Capitol, like, isn't enough. Like, you have to understand now, like, you have to understand, like, what has been done, what has been said to get us to this point, and it's Trump who is to blame.
Yeah.
And if you still support him, then you do support what happened the other day. You do. Plain and simple. Because he's the one that incited it. And there hasn't been a single moment where he's completely backtracked and said, you know what? Fuck it. I was wrong. I shouldn't have said those things. I messed up. And he never will. And so, like, the fact that you could still sit there and support him, like, you really need to take a deeper look at yourself on why you're supporting him. And why you're so hell-bent on being his fan. The other thing I wanted to touch on,
you know,
is that one good thing came out from this.
What?
Did you watch the confirmation hearing?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So I think I don't know which 2 states it was, but there was 2 states who were originally going to challenge the certification.
I think it was Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And
Arizona did. Arizona ended up doing it.
Okay, but
there was 2 states.
I think Mike Pence even was the one that was like, oh, no.
There was 2 states, and in order to challenge the certification, you have to have it in writing, and you also have to have, I think, at least 2 senators to sign off on it. There was, for sure, at least 1 state, but I think there was two in total that had it in writing, and senators signed off on it. But then after all of this happened, the senators revoked their signatures, and so they weren't able to do that. So I mean, it completely
But you know what?
It completely backfired though. Like, that was funny to me.
Fuck all those senators that still continue to go along with it after everything happened.
Oh yeah,
like,
100%.
Ted Cruz.
Oh fuck Ted Cruz.
Josh Hawley, who was
fuck you.
Josh Hawley was being like I'm gonna be a nice populist person and, you know, advocate for these $1,200 checks with Bernie Sanders. I'm gonna seem like I'm nice and cool,
mm-hmm.
and then fucking do this bullshit. Like, dude, fuck these people. Like, all of them in general. But
we're gonna move on. Oh no.
No, we're not.
No.
It's
okay.
No, yeah,
he's gonna. I'm gonna let him finish.
No, I'm kidding. No, we're good. I got mad again. I'm sorry. I'm mad.
We're gonna move on because we want to touch on the good thing that did happen this week, right? We want to end on a good note because a lot of sad things happen and a lot of us feel like we're in a really dark place, but we do need to celebrate our victories.
Yes.
So Warnock and I don't know how to say his name. Ossoff?
John Ossoff. Yeah.
Ossoff. They won the Senate seats.
They won their Senate seats.
And so this creates a path
now
for
Democrats
us
own
to
the
finally
House,
have
the
policy
Senate,
changes.
Yes, but okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's be positive.
God damn it! I'm sorry. I don't want to be the fucking pessimist. I'm sorry.
Look, no, I know that we're not gonna. It's not gonna be all rainbows and butterflies.
We had it in 2010.
It's not gonna be rainbows and butterflies, but it gives us a chance.
But you know what it does? The one thing I will say that I'm so happy about is it's going to show us the Democrats that want to actually enforce change for the better of people and the ones that don't. Because right now, there's no reason right now that Medicare for all should not be voted on now. Because we have complete power. So you want to vote on Medicare for all and people oppose it, it's like, well then, fuck you. If you want to vote on a Green New Deal and people oppose it, fuck you.
Well, I think what we have to do at this point now is we have to watch closely, and then when the time comes to vote again to either remove these people from their positions of power.
That's what I'm saying. Like you know now. You get you see who, like, for instance, like if everyone votes for it and then all of a sudden one of these people vote against it, you know who you're primarying the next time around. When the next midterms come around, you're going to primary that person, whoever it is. It doesn't matter. That's the whole point of a democracy because it's so cool. But
it is a win. It's
a win completely.
Yeah.
It's a for sure win. We guaranteed ourselves for sure, no matter what, we're going to get those $2,000 checks now. Those $2,000 checks are for sure going to be sent out because of both these people are populists. Warnock for sure is a populist. He is an actor. in my mind, I actually think he's a pretty big leftist. Like, people don't even realize it, but if you listen to his old speeches, this dude's a full-on, like, leftist. Like, he's a progressive-ass dude. Ossoff, but a lot better than what you had.
Yes.
No matter what.
My God.
And he has cool-ass tweets from...
That's always a plus.
Yeah, he's a funny-ass dude.
But no, I mean, good things happen.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
I mean, I'm going to be naive, and I'm going to hope that good things...
Thanks, Trump, for that one, because...
Good things continue to happen this year. Keep your head up. We want to end on another positive note. So, Justin, tell me what is a personal positive for you this week.
You know what's funny is I saw you write this down as like a positive.
And you haven't thought of anything?
I was like, I don't have a positive this week. You know what? My positive will be the... Want to go first?
Okay, my positive is that my mom got vaccinated this week.
Nice. Oh.
Yeah, so she's in the medical field. We weren't sure though if she was going to get the vaccine like as soon as everyone else, because she's technically not like, she's not in the hospitals, but she's in a medical office and they're still doing face-to-face stuff. So I'm very happy.
That's good.
That she got vaccinated, and my dad might be next in line because he's in the food industry. So that was a win. That put me at ease.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's a big win. I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm
also drinking whiskey for the first time since I was like 18. That's a win.
You don't drink whiskey when you're 18. You drink fucking Amsterdam.
Exactly. No, and I drank whiskey when I was 18, and it was the first time I ever blacked out in my life, and I woke up the next day and I wasn't able to smell whiskey without throwing up for like 5 years.
It's probably Fireball. Was it Fireball?
No, it was Jack Daniels.
Oh.
But it was also mixed with multiple other liquors throughout the night. Because I was 18.
Yeah, don't blame whiskey.
I was 18 though, and that's the last thing I remember drinking. That's the last thing that I tasted. So everybody has that though. Like, everybody has that one liquor where they're just kind of like, ugh, I can't. Ugh, get it away from me.
I'm trying to think of my win right here. And you're...
Sorry.
I think the Georgia runoff races are going to be my win of the week. I really do feel like there is a pot, like, as much as I don't like, I mean, I like Warnock, I like Ossoff as much as I can like him, but it's a positive. It's so much of a positive. Bernie is probably going to be a budget,
I don't know the name, so
yeah.
I can't correct you. I can't help you out. I'm sorry.
Budget.
Secretary.
Nope.
No.
Chairman. Committee. Budget. Can you look it up?
I don't even know what to look up because I don't know what it's called.
Just type in Bernie Sanders budget chairman committee.
Wow, you're really exposing yourself right now.
Oh, I'm so exposing it. This is so bad right now. But it's going to be right there. Who could join committee?
I think it's just, Chairman Bernie.
Senate committee. So that's why, budget Senate committee. Yes, that's
budget committee chairman.
Yes, he gets to control the finances.
Wow.
How awesome.
That was insane. What a ride to get there.
That wasn't that bad. Here.
Play it back.
That actually is my win, is that Bernie, you know what? 2 wins.
He went from...
I'm sorry.
He hated
Can we just talk about how much influence Bernie has had in the last 3 months?
I love Bernie.
I think we all do, but...
No, some people don't.
Yeah, because they're weird.
But those people can kick rocks.
But because they like the status quo, that's the only thing. But they can kick rocks, exactly.
Yeah.
However, I was like flabbergasted, bamboozled, you would say.
Confuzzled. I can't think of another word.
Yeah.
I like flabbergasted.
Flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted.
It's a good one.
It was seeing the way that throughout the pandemic and the way that stimulus got dispersed,
Mm-hmm.
Trump didn't react. Our president-elect Biden didn't react. but somehow Bernie was the face of all this shit. And it was like...
Oh my gosh, when he was pulling up the tweets, that shit was hilarious. He printed out big-ass printouts of the tweets. Oh, I love that man. He's amazing. But let's go ahead.
Sorry.
Let's go ahead and finish up.
Yeah.
Rating.
I finished mine, so it was good.
I liked it. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
It didn't taste like that much peanut butter. That's the thing. That's what I like.
I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 because I literally have not been able to drink like straight whiskey in years. Like years. The closest thing I can drink to whiskey is doing Jameson and ginger ale.
Oh, Irish Mills. It was delicious.
That's the closest thing I can do.
It's good.
But then after a while, I'm like, ugh.
I mean, this realistically isn't straight up whiskey, though.
Yeah, but it's pretty close.
You got like a cherry on something.
Oh my god.
It's peanut butter flavored whiskey.
But it's whiskey, is it not?
Okay.
Is it?
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Technical. I give it a 10 out of 10. Thank you so much, Paul, for this recommendation.
I will say 10 out of 10 too.
This is bomb.
I'm going to say 10 out of 10.
I will actually probably drink another one.
Yeah, I'm going to be down for that.
And I could actually get drunk off of this in like 1 or 2 drinks.
I don't think that.
I can. I'm not drinking that much anymore.
Oh yeah, you're a wiener, I forgot. What?
Podcast over.
Alright, that was fun. So episode 6 is done. But no, really, follow the Not So Happy Hour podcast.
Yeah, we're on YouTube currently. Justin is going to work this weekend to get us on other platforms. So if we're not on it, just blame him.
Kelsey
just blow up his phone because
Kelsey is going to definitely be telling me every second of tomorrow, hey, did you do that yet? Did you do that yet?
But will you have done it if I didn't text you?
No.
Exactly. That's how this business works.
This is how it goes. She says something and I say okay.
I run the social media and then I just nag Justin until he does stuff.
It's funny because you're on social media, but I still reply now to people because
I'm gonna change the password.
I know you need to. You probably should because I still do.
But yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on the Civil Society podcast that was released last week. That was an awesome episode.
That was
we really
enjoyed
episode. Doing that.
Super in depth. It's
he asks a lot of questions. I think for me and Justin, when we're here with you guys, we just kind of talk and as a conversation.
Spitballing.
And it works. We like it. We enjoy it. We hope you do too. But that episode with Christian was really nice because he asked us a lot of questions and it really made us think a lot. So yeah, check out Civil Society Podcast. Follow our Instagram. I think it's Not So Period Happy Hour. I think, pretty sure.
We'll check, but
you can follow.
We can't.
You can follow Justin's Instagram.
Justin Vasquez 22.
You can follow my Instagram.
Wiener McWeenie.
The podcast Instagram is Not So Period Happy Hour. So yeah, follow us.
God damn, the alt account's right there.
Follow us and comment, please. Interact with us.
Yes.
Share our stuff.
Always.
Don't like asking for this type of stuff, but because it is for our podcast, please help us out because we would love to reach more people and we would love to just be able to do this more.
Yeah,
and we can only do that if we can have a larger base.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Engage. Give us breweries. Give us cool drinks.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and like I said, like from
next week's Natty Ice and Lemon, so.
I'll make that on the Instagram Live. Probably just Peter will watch, but it's fine.
I'll make that tonight for Peter on Instagram. I'm just kidding. I would never buy Natty Ice voluntarily.
But yeah, no, check us out. Let us know if you like it. I'm sure as we keep going, we'll get positive and negative feedback. We're here for all of it. But have a great day. Try to stay positive. And have a great, whatever time you're watching this, morning, night, afternoon. Peace out.
Peace. That was cool.